Today I want to talk about these two techs, equipment conversion speed plus 40%. You have two of them and I will talk about what they do and how we want to use them. Because these two techs are vital for making a great army and air force, but I never fully understood them before. Now I have researched this and I know exactly how I will use it. But let's start at the beginning without these techs research. What these techs affect is the base cost of a chassis or an airplane. And you might think that if you look at this one, you see the cost here, 2.48, and at the basic airframe, it's 17. But that's not the cost for the chassis. The cost for the chassis or airframe, it's only found when you're going into the tanks. So looking at this tank, you have the cost down there. Basic heavy tank chassis costs 10. And the same thing with airframes. I misclicked. The same thing with airplanes. The airframe costs 5 here. So that is the cost that is affected by the research. And the thing is, when you try to convert something, you have to pay an amount of that cost, that 10 cost for the chassis in this part, as soon as you do something. So putting on MIO, which doesn't cost any production in itself, if you have nothing research, you pay 90% of that 10 for the heavy tank chassis. And as soon as you start researching, you will pay less. So with this one, we will just pay 50%. And if I roll it here, you see, it goes down to 5. And if I research the next one, it goes down to 10%. So I have 80% reduction. So first I needed to pay 90%. Now I have to pay 10%. So let's look at this one. Now it costs 1. And this is what it does. It lowers the cost to make the conversion in the first place. And the more expensive chassis you have, the more you will save with this tech. And this is amazing. But I just want to say that most of you guys watching are not yet subscribers. So please subscribe to the channel. We release one new guide every Monday. We have a lot of other content. And if you for some strange reason can't get enough of us, we also have a Patreon releasing one new guide every second week and a lot of other stuff there too. So please check out our Patreon. And now we'll continue with the guide. So now to the fun part. What do we do with this? And the first thing I would do is upgrade my starting fighters. This is upgrading air is really important. So if you see my fighter video, the 1939 tech really makes your fighters more effective. They kill double the amount that the 1936 fighters does. So if you upgrade your entire air force, putting on some heavy machine guns, putting on this amazing self-sealing fuel tanks, I know it costs rubber, but it is amazing. And perhaps one defensive turret. Making this design instead of the starting design with the starting weapons will make your air force extremely competent. You will kill twice as much with this fighter as you would with a starting fighter. So yeah, really good. So this is something I would do. Another thing I would do is put on MIOs, because you might not have MIOs on everything you have. So just putting in an MIO, you see the extreme low cost of this. And if you have gone for a while, so you start in 36, you have built up your MIO, you have gotten a lot of extra bonuses, just pushing in that MIO for 0.8 conversion, just convert your entire stock of aircraft with MIOs instead. It will give you an enormous punch. And the same thing goes to this one. And when you have upgraded them during a couple of years of building, they will give you an extreme extra punch. And as you see here, a little bit more expensive compared to the last one, but if you have a lot of bonuses from this one, it's a no-brainer. This is something I would do, use and put on MIOs on everything and convert what I have to make them even better. Another great thing is making sure that your tanks are up to date, and most countries start with a lot of starting tanks. We have Panzer 1 here, 700. The Panzer 1s are quite worthless. You have 8 in soft attack. This won't do much. What you can do is just put on a light fixed superstructure, a medium howitzer. It will cost you 4.4 to convert these, and you have 27 extra in soft attack. So from something that's kind of useless, you now have a better tank. And you can also, of course, put on some kind of designer. It's free of charge. This even makes it cheaper since it has production cost -3. So this is something you can do. Modify your starting tanks. Now we have 700 of something actually worth fighting with later on. So that's something that you really want to do. And even later in the game, you perhaps want some armor upgrade for some of your greatest tanks or something like that. You can start upgrading the tanks and actually converting them if you have the possibility and you have that breathing hole in your game. And if you really love to min-max your game, something you can do, this is how the calculations works, and I won't go into too much details. But if you take riveted armor, if you have a tank with designed riveted armor and you use cast armor instead, it will be actually cheaper to build them with riveted armor and then upgrade them to cast armor later on. It's not a huge save. It's gonna be like 5-10% cheaper to do it this way than otherwise. But still, yeah, it's 5-10% more armor in the field. So yeah, if you want to min-max, go for riveted armor in the beginning and convert everything to cast armor, and you will earn yourself an extra buck, 10-5% extra. And something that you always have to bear in mind is that you have to have these things in stockpile in order to convert them. So here I designed a new convert airframe. This is what we want to do in 39. And if you look up here, there's no button to convert them. So what you need to do before that is going to the airplanes, delete everything, and wait a second to get them in stockpile. And now you have them in stockpile, and you can start converting these ones, your older fighters to the newer fighters. And you see here that the cost is 8.5 instead of the standard cost of this, which was up to, let's look at this one, 27. So yeah, don't forget that, because that's a usual thing to do, and you wonder why is it grayed out. It's grayed out because you don't have anything in stockpile. It's in field and you can't convert field equipment. And yeah, that's the guide. I hope you enjoy. I hope you use conversion from now on. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. Check out our Patreon. Check out our last live game. It was amazing. Yeah, I loved playing it and the suspense was awesome. So yeah, check it out. And yeah, I will be back in 2 weeks with another guide. And until then, I will see you guys next time.